Once we have our custom pilot created using HoloMIT SDK, we will have two main game objects in our scene, one called player root and the other one called example manager. The player root game object will be containing all the logic and game objects related to the player instantiation in our pilot. The player location are the game objects that will be handling the position of the new players that are joining our scene. So we will have a 4 user capacity in this scene, but we can increase it adding a new player location. So we can search here for player location, and this is the prefab that is contained in HoloMIT SDK to have more players in our session. We can drag it here into players game object, and now we have a 5 users capacity in our scene. On the other hand, there is non-players location that will be containing all the users that have chosen no representation or other type of representation that doesn't require to be spawned or represented in our scene. On the other hand, we have example manager that contains the MCU pipeline and the WebRTC controller to deliver all these protocols and pipelines. And there is the main script called pilot controller that manages all the station and positions between users. So here we have player prefab that contains the prefab that is going to be used to represent our own representation and the remote user representation. If we want to differentiate between our representation prefab and the remote users representation, we have to check use more prefabs and drag an other prefab to represent the remote users with another type of prefab. Also, there is the player location list that contains the different positions and player location prefabs to manage and coordinate the positions between all the users in the session. So as we added one more player location, we have to drag it into this player location, and now we have the 5 player locations references added to session player manager.